Today we're going to try Sweet and Tangy Barbecue Doritos, which I finally found after a few weeks of searching. From what I heard on the internet a couple weeks ago, they said they're a Sam's Club exclusive, but then they said they're not. Then people told me they found them in other places, and I couldn't find them. I went to, the places that I can go, which are Walmart and H-E-B, and Dollar General and Family Dollar and 7-Eleven, gas stations, stuff like that. Couldn't find it until today. Found it. Finally, Dollar General was stocking it. So we're going to try it. Now, I know I've seen a couple other reviews. I didn't really pay attention because I didn't want to be influenced. But I know some other people have reviewed them already, and I'm very interested. Now, the other thing is on the back, they have a picture of the sweet spicy chili, the purple bag of Doritos, which is a flavor I have been looking for also for weeks, because I'm trying to make a Doritos video, which is essentially going to be, I think I'm going to title it something like, which mainline Doritos flavor is the best, something like that. And I have the regular one, I have spicy nacho, I have Cool Ranch, and I have the salsa verde one, but I do not have the purple sweet chili, and I cannot find it anywhere. So I'm hoping I can find that soon and make the Doritos comparison video. But for now, that's still on hold. But we got Sweet Tangy Barbecue, which potentially could be really interesting. I'm not generally a huge barbecue chip person. I like barbecue Lays fine, but usually I'll take regular Lays or especially like sour cream and cheddar over barbecue. But who knows? Some barbecue things are really good. Now, sweet and tangy, that kind of throws me off because sweet barbecue is a little bit, it can be a little bit problematic on how sweet the barbecue actually is. Now, you need a little sweetness, you need a little bit of that sugar when you're talking about barbecue, but putting sweet in the title kind of worries me. Anyways, let's just try it out. So you should be able to find this, hopefully, at least at Dollar General. That's where I found it, but I'm assuming it's going to roll out everywhere before too long, just like the Doritos dips that took a while to find. I'm assuming it'll roll out soon. You know what these smell like? Kind of like those Fritos honey barbecue twists, which are, pretty good. I don't really like the twist format, but I like the flavor of them. That's kind of what they smell like. Here's what they look like. They look pretty much like Doritos, just with a brown seasoning instead of their usual nacho cheese or the kind of Cool Ranch zestiness, which I always liked the way those Cool Ranch looked with the sprinkles, the powders on them. Festive, but let's go ahead and try this out. These are interesting. They did kind of a little bit fall into the trap I was talking about, it being a little too sweet, because I do think the sweetness is a little bit high. The sweet factor in these is a little bit high, but really the highlight of these is not necessarily the sweetness. It's the tang. Tangy is an interesting word. I've never looked it up, but tangy can mean a lot of things, and it's a hard to explain kind of thing. There's almost like a little bit of a spice to it. I wouldn't call it spicy by any means, but tangy is I guess it's a good description, because I can't really think of another word. Maybe zingy. Zingy, tangy, kind of zip, it's got a little bit of a bite to it, but it's not necessarily spicy, but it does have an interesting kind of spiced flavor that does kind of grab you a little bit. And now I think I like that, but I think the sugar, the sweetness of it kind of is a little bit overwhelming in terms of the ratio of sweet to tang. And barbecue, while I guess you would call this barbecue, this is not like a traditional barbecue flavor. This is definitely not like a Lay's barbecue. Like I said, it's more spicy, it's more seasoned. I'm not an expert on different barbecue types, so I couldn't really tell you. But this has more of a sweet, sugary, but also spicy, zingy taste, if that makes sense. I'm not really finding the words to describe this very well, but I'm hoping that all makes sense in terms of the Sweet and Tangy Barbecue. I guess that is a good name to go with, Sweet and Tangy, because it's really hard to describe any other way. And I like them, but I don't love them. I think in terms of Doritos flavors, they've definitely done better, and I would probably prefer just regular Doritos over these, but they are an interesting kind of, these would go into the slot of, I'll get these every once in a while to kind of break it up. That's what I would put these in, assuming they stick around and they're not just a limited time thing. It would be like, you know what, I've had a lot of Doritos lately, how about I grab a bag of barbecue? Or like, oh, Doritos are, 2 for $6. I'll get a regular one and a barbecue one. That's kind of where these would fit in for me. It's the same place where actually Cool Ranch kind of resides for me right now. Now, I know there are a lot of Cool Ranch heads out there, Cool Ranch aficionados. I'm a nacho cheese kind of guy, or actually really a spicy nacho kind of guy. If I'm getting Doritos, spicy nacho is going to be my first choice. But as I said, sometimes if it's like 2 for $6 or something like that, throw in a Cool Ranch just to have something different and break it up. Even if it's not necessarily my favorite, it's still solid. And that's where I think these sweet and tangy barbecue chips will go. Though I have no doubt some people might really like these because the Tang and Zip Tang, Zang, I don't know what other word to use, it is compelling. It's a compelling flavor, but also a flavor that I don't think I could binge. Like with a bag of spicy nacho Doritos or regular Doritos or even Cool Ranch, I feel like I could almost eat like a half a bag, you know, just not paying attention. Whereas these, you could not do that. I don't think. I don't think these are kind of a bingeful chip. I think these are, you have a few and then you kind of don't want any more because it's a little bit of an overwhelming flavor, which could be a good or bad thing depending on who you are, depending on the situation. I'd say it's a bad thing in general, but not that bad. So it leaves me in a weird place when I'm coming to review these, which is something I say a lot because I start to waver because I like the 5-star scale. You know, some people have said things about it. They don't like it, blah, blah, blah. I like the 1 to 5 because I feel like it really highlights, it really puts things into perspective easily. When you go on a 10-point scale or even higher, like if you go into halves, if you're rating things out of 10 and you can give something, you know, a 6.5, you're getting a little bit too granular in my opinion. I really feel like the 5 stars is something people can generally grip and understand easily without having to get into semantics, just like, because it kind of does relate to also grading scale, at least in the US, of A, B, C, D, F. You know, there's 5. F is failing. That kind of equates to a 1 star. D kind of equates to a 2 star. It's not good. You know, it might be okay, but it's not really that good. You probably shouldn't buy it. C, that equates to a 3 star. Meaning, you know, it's okay, it's solid, you might like it, you might not, but it's not really something to write home about. 4 stars, you're starting to get into the good territory, that's a B. It's above average, it's pretty good, but there might be some things about it that aren't good. There might be some things that would preclude some people from wanting to get it, but in general, it's probably a good thing to check out if you feel like it, or if you're interested in that, you know, genre or subject, or if you're somebody who's interested in chips or candy or whatever, something gets a 4 star, you know, it's probably a good thing to check out. And then you got the 5s, which are basically, you know, everybody who, you know, is watching this video, I would recommend try it pretty much because it's excellent. 5 stars, you're talking about something that's very good, that really doesn't have too many detrimental things, maybe a couple nitpicks, but it's 5 stars, so you know that it's going to be something that will be good regardless, you know. And there's a little bit of subjectivity when it comes to reviews. I don't like saying reviews are objective because they're not. People like to say, oh, you know, you review things objectively, you want to review it with an objective mindset. A little bit, yes, but in general, a review is always going to be subjective. You know, there's definitely going to be people who buy these that hate them, there's going to be people who buy these that love them. I'm in the middle. That's my personal opinion, but I can see other people's point of views. I understand where you're coming from if you say you hate it. I understand where you're coming from if you say you love it. There's no such thing as an objective review. It's always going to be tilted based on the person. But I do try to keep in mind other people's opinions when it comes to these things. Like, especially with spicy things, I try to understand that some people really like spicy things and they might get, you know, something out of a spicy product that I won't get. And that's fine. And I try to keep that in mind when I know, because it's possible to know something is quality but not like it. That happens to me a lot. Like, I know this item is a quality item. I know it's probably worth the money. I know that they put a lot of work into it and all that good stuff, but I don't like it personally. I will try to, you know, I might bump that one up a little bit because I feel like based on the quality of the product, they do deserve a better rating, even if I personally didn't like it, stuff like that. There's a tilt. There's a tilt based on the reviewer, and this is just my opinion. And I don't know why I'm sticking this into the Dorito video, but it's kind of where because I'm waffling between a 3 and a 4 on these. But I think I'm going to go with a 3 based on what I just said. I think I convinced myself to give these a 3 because I do think that they're solid. I do like them, but I don't think they're necessarily exceptional. I think a C average is where these would go. Again, you might love them, you might hate them, but for me, they're just like another option that's there occasionally to get just to, you know, make some interesting, just have a little bit of interesting food, but not really something that I'm going to pick out every time like a spicy nacho. So that's sweet and tangy barbecue Doritos. 3 out of 5. check them out if you want to. They're available at Dollar General now, at least. Definitely at Sam's Club. Maybe Walmart now. I haven't checked in the last couple days, but they're starting to come out. They're starting to spread out, so you might be seeing them around you soon. And I will see you all next time.